I was really hoping by the time that I did this commentary, the hearing would be complete and we would have a judge's rendering or verdict on whether or not the affidavit of everything that the FBI seized during the Mar-a-Lago raid would now be public. And that still very well may happen, but at the time that we were putting this monologue together, that decision had not yet been rendered. But let me just share a couple of thoughts with you. When the news leaks something, there's one of two takeaways that you get. A, they want you to know they got the goods and it's a teaser, and you know, whatever the story might be, when they begin to let certain aspects of it leak out, they want you to know that they are hot on the trail, that they got this thing, and what's about to happen is going to be literally explosive. Now, they've tried to do that with this raid on Mar-a-Lago, but the narrative has changed literally so many times. What are we up to, like 29 different reasons why the FBI had to go into Mar-a-Lago? First, it was to retrieve, he had taken top secret records. Then he had nuclear codes. Then he had the names of all of our spies and assets around the world, and the Chinese would get their hands on it. Well, all they got to do is ask Joe for that. I mean, after all the money that they've given by Xi Biden. We've heard just one story after another story after another story. Now, again, I still hold to that Donald Trump set him up. Another reason why sometimes the media will leak things is to offset or blunt or buffer the truth that they know is coming, and they want to provide some cover ahead of time. And I think that's what's going on here. Here's, in a nutshell, what I really believe has happened. Donald Trump baited and set up the FBI. They came in, they got nothing. Absolutely nothing. We know that the Trump security people did not turn off the cameras at Mar-a-Lago. If they had gotten anything, and Dan Bongino is correct in pointing this out, if the FBI had gotten anything even remotely incriminating against Donald Trump on any front, whether it be to prove Russian collusion or that, to prove he was involved in the planning of an insurrection, to prove that he really did have, top secret information he was not supposed to have. If the FBI had anything, it would have been leaked to CNN by now. I mean, come on. They took CNN with them when they raided the home of Roger Stone. What's Roger Stone in his 70s now? He's his elderly wife, and what do they got, like 3 or 4 of those, little furball dogs, and kicking his door in the pre-dawn, and CNN just happened to be in the shrubs with the full camera crew. So if they had or found anything, we would have it now. I think what they went there for was evidence that Trump has exonerating himself, and they wanted to steal it. And the reason I say that is Newsweek magazine, which we certainly know is not a credible news source, but it is a great place for the powers that be to use to drop their talking points that they can then, get it out to people, whether it be through PMSNBC, CNN, anything that has to do with the lying, legacy, corporate, corrupt mainstream media, which also includes faux pas news, formerly known as Fox News. It's what I can call a controlled leak. And the idea is that it blunt or buffer the truth that's coming. And CNN is now running some articles that we very well could find that one of the things that the CIA or that the FBI seized were documents that, and they'll use this word, allegedly show that Donald Trump not only was not involved in any type of collusion, but that the FBI knowingly went ahead and illegally wiretapped and surveilled him, even though they already knew there really was no there. Just the fact that Newsweek is running a story like that means that is exactly what the FBI was doing. I think Trump used an informant to tell them he's got something in the safe. I think that became their excuse to go in. But the real reason they're there, again, they know that he's really thinking about running again. And they would love to do whatever they can to discredit him and stop him from running for the office of president again. But so far, they haven't been able to make anything stick. They haven't been able to make this happen. But I think that they got worried that Donald Trump has proof that they, the intel community, the FBI and the CIA colluding together, knew full well that the accusation of Trump colluding with Russia was completely a hoax, completely made up. They knew it. But they played along anyway to spy on a private citizen, a political rival of the Democratic nominee. And I think Trump has that proof. I think Trump wanted to share that proof. And I think the FBI, in doing a CYA for themselves and the CIA, went in to take it. And that's the real reason they don't want the affidavit out listing all the things that they took. I have talked to people who are in the loop, who actually have meetings and contact and face-to-face time with Donald Trump, and they all tell me the same thing. He is in great spirits, and if they think for any second this has dissuaded him from wanting to run for the presidency again, they are sorely mistaken. This whole narrative has completely blown up on the FBI and the lying left. I mean, it is, and that is because the pressure has been kept on. I mean, you think about what's been happening in the past 72 hours. The pressure is on that we want to know what it was they were doing at Mar-a-Lago. Liz Cheney has been given her walking papers. She's as relevant now to the Republicans as Beto O'Rourke, you know, the Irish Latino, is to the Democrats. He loses one election after another election, but he just keeps running for stuff. Apparently that's the way he makes money. And apparently there are idiot billionaires out there that will, you know, give him money to just run for crap. He's not going to win anything. And now, you know, Liz Cheney couldn't win Wyoming, but she's going to become president. Yeah, give me a break. In one of the reddest states there is, she couldn't pull off a win there, but somehow she's going to get all the coastal liberals on board, and, you know, she's going to be the savior of the correct thinking Republicans and the country. Yeah, give me a break. So, you know, we've got that happening. We have the director of the CDC admitting mistakes. Oh, there were a lot of mistakes. Now, be careful about that. And I'm going to be doing a commentary about that tomorrow. Because some people are taking that, oh, it's a time of the CDC doing self-reflection and taking a look that they handled the pandemically wrong, and see, they're going to make some real changes. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. The changes they want to make are not what you think. What they're going to want to do is make sure that in the future, there are no choices or freedoms, that everything is an absolute mandate. Lockdowns will be a mandate. Quarantines will be mandated. You will be tracked. You will be traced. You will be checked. You will be screened, whether you want to or not. And whatever they decide is the new elixir love potion, you will take it, period. So be careful when they talk about they're in a time of reflection at how badly they handled and mixed message. Yeah, in other words, they won't tolerate any dissent going forward. It will all be one message. Do as you're told. So that's what's coming. Now, a former Nunes associate, who is also a retired colonel and was heavily involved in the investigating of the so-called Russian collusion narrative, has said publicly now that he personally believes the reason the FBI went into Mar-a-Lago, they were looking for the documents that Trump had to prove that he had absolutely nothing to do with Russian collusion, that the intel communities already knew that he was completely innocent, yet they dragged this out for 3+ years because he was a political enemy. And they want to make sure that moving forward, should Trump become president again, that he not have the evidence to go after them and clean house. Interesting theory. We shall see. But one thing I do stick to, Trump set him up. He set him up. This whole thing has imploded on them. And you talk about Trump being able to take some victory laps. Have you seen how he's trolling the left right now? Even his mock endorsements of New York liberals? I mean, I have been told by people who know, is so energized right now, so excited. All I can tell you, keep up the pressure, keep pushing, keep talking, spread videos like this around, engage your friends, don't wimp out and don't say, I just want to talk about politics anymore. Keep up the pressure. We are winning. Dark Brandon, or whatever it is that they're trying to rebrand Joe Biden as this week, it's not working. He is an abysmal failure, and even the lying legacy media is now conceding that the so-called Inflation Reduction Act isn't going to reduce inflation. You think? But now Manchin and the rest of the Dems own it, and we're going to make them wear it. I understand. We're about to really feel it. They'll manipulate the economy enough right now over the next couple of months to make you think things are recovering because they want you to vote blue for the midterms. Don't fall for it. Don't believe it. And I promise you, even if you vote blue, they are going to make us all pay the day after the election. You'll watch gas and fuel oil, just as we're about to hit the winter season, go through the roof. And you will see inflation like you've never seen before. See, they're not just inept at handling the economy. They are purposely destructive. Do not let these people stay in power or stay in control. Keep up the pressure. Keep talking. Don't be quiet.